Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. I hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you are in the world. Maybe you're listening while taking a walk, driving to work, studying, cleaning your room, relaxing at home, or simply enjoying a quiet moment to yourself. Whatever you're doing right now, thank you for choosing to spend this time with me. I truly appreciate it, and I'm excited to share today's conversation with you because I believe it has the potential to change the way you see yourself and the way you live your life.
Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new podcast episode.
Today's episode is about something that sounds simple, but is often incredibly difficult for many people. We are going to talk about learning to love yourself more than anyone else. Before you hear that title and assume this conversation is about becoming selfish, let me clarify something important. Self-love is not about believing that you are more important than everyone else. It is not about ignoring other people's feelings or caring only about yourself. Real self-love is about recognizing your value and treating yourself with the same respect, patience, and compassion that you offer to others. Many people spend years searching for love, acceptance, and approval. They want to be admired by others. They want to feel appreciated. They want people to recognize their efforts and acknowledge their worth. There is nothing wrong with wanting connection because human beings naturally need relationships. The problem begins when we allow other people to decide how we feel about ourselves. When your confidence depends on compliments, it becomes fragile. When your happiness depends on approval, it becomes unstable. When your sense of worth depends entirely on what other people think, you give away your power. Suddenly, one compliment can make you feel amazing, while one criticism can make you question everything about yourself. Think about how many people make decisions based on fear of judgment. Some people choose careers they do not enjoy because they want to impress others. Some stay in unhealthy relationships because they are afraid of being alone. Others hide their dreams because they worry about criticism or failure. Instead of living according to their own values, they begin living according to expectations that were created by someone else. Little by little, they move further away from who they truly are. If you think about it, the relationship you have with yourself is the longest relationship you will ever experience. Friends may come and go, jobs may change, relationships may begin and end, life circumstances will constantly change. However, you will spend every single day with yourself. You will hear your thoughts, experience your emotions, and carry your memories throughout your entire life. That is why learning to love yourself is not optional. It is essential. Unfortunately, many people were never taught how to do this. They learned how to work hard, they learned how to be responsible, they learned how to meet expectations, they learned how to care for others, but they never learned how to care for themselves emotionally. They never learned how to forgive themselves after making mistakes. They never learned how to appreciate their strengths without feeling guilty. As a result, many adults develop a habit of constant self-criticism. Have you ever noticed that you are often much kinder to your friends than you are to yourself? Imagine one of your closest friends fails an important exam, loses an opportunity, or makes a mistake they regret. You probably would not tell them they are worthless. You would not tell them that their future is ruined. You would remind them that everyone makes mistakes, and that one setback does not define who they are. Yet when we make mistakes, many of us become our own worst critic. We say things to ourselves that we would never say to another human being. We replay failures in our minds. We focus on our weaknesses. We magnify our imperfections. Over time, those thoughts begin to shape the way we see ourselves. The words you use when speaking to yourself matter. Your mind is always listening. If you repeatedly tell yourself that you are not good enough, smart enough, attractive enough, or successful enough, eventually those thoughts start feeling like facts. What begins as a thought becomes a belief. Learning to love yourself means becoming aware of that inner voice. It means noticing when you are being unnecessarily harsh with yourself and choosing a different response. It means understanding that growth does not require self-hatred. In fact, people usually grow more when they are encouraged rather than criticized. Imagine teaching a child to ride a bicycle. If you shouted at them every time they fell, would they learn faster? Probably not. Encouragement creates confidence, and confidence creates progress. The same principle applies to adults. Another major obstacle to self-love is comparison.
Modern life makes comparison easier than ever before. Every day, people scroll through social media and see carefully selected moments from other people's lives. They see success stories, vacations, achievements, celebrations, relationships, and accomplishments. What they rarely see are the struggles behind those moments. They do not see the failures, doubts, disappointments, sacrifices, or difficult days. As a result, many people compare their real life to someone else's highlight reel. They focus on what they lack instead of appreciating what they have. They focus on someone else's progress instead of recognizing their own. The problem with comparison is that it steals your attention from your own journey. Instead of asking how far you have come, you begin asking why you are not where someone else is. Instead of celebrating your progress, you become frustrated by someone else's success. Every person has a different story. Every person faces different challenges. Every person grows at a different pace. Comparing your journey to someone else's is unfair because your circumstances are not the same. The goal is not to become someone else. The goal is to become the best version of yourself. One of the biggest misunderstandings about self-love is the belief that it is selfish. Many people feel uncomfortable whenever they hear advice about putting themselves first because they have spent most of their lives taking care of everyone else. They have learned to be helpful, dependable, and available whenever someone needs support. While these qualities are admirable, problems begin when a person constantly ignores their own needs in order to satisfy others. The truth is that self-love and selfishness are completely different. Selfishness is believing that only your needs matter. Self-love is understanding that your needs matter too. It is recognizing that you cannot continue giving your time, energy, and emotional support to others if you are completely exhausted yourself. Imagine trying to fill someone else's glass with water when your own glass is empty. You might be able to do it for a short period of time, but eventually you will have nothing left to give. This is exactly what happens when people constantly sacrifice their well-being while neglecting their mental and emotional health. They become tired, frustrated, overwhelmed, and disconnected from themselves. Taking care of yourself is not something you should feel guilty about. It is not a reward that you earn after helping everyone else. It is a responsibility. Rest is important. Mental health is important. Personal growth is important. The more you care for yourself, the more energy and positivity you can bring into every area of your life. An important part of self-love is learning how to create healthy boundaries. Many people struggle with boundaries because they want to be liked. They want to avoid conflict. They want everyone around them to be happy. As a result, they say yes when they really want to say no. They agree to things they do not have time for. They tolerate behavior that makes them uncomfortable. They ignore their own feelings because they believe everyone else's needs are more important. At first, this may seem like kindness, but over time, it often creates resentment. When you constantly put yourself last, you begin to feel invisible. You wonder why nobody respects your time, your energy, or your feelings. The reality is that people cannot always understand your limits unless you communicate them. Healthy boundaries are not walls that push people away. They are guidelines that protect your well-being. They help you maintain healthy relationships because they prevent frustration from building over time. Every time you say no to something that drains you, you are saying yes to your peace of mind. Another important lesson in self-love is learning how to forgive yourself. Many people spend years carrying guilt from past mistakes. They replay embarrassing moments in their minds. They think about opportunities they missed. They regret decisions they made years ago. Sometimes they become trapped in the past and struggle to move forward because they are still punishing themselves for something that cannot be changed. The reality is that every person makes mistakes. Every person has regrets. Every person has moments they wish they could do differently. That is part of being human. Mistakes are not meant to define you forever. They are meant to teach you something valuable. Think about the person you were 5 years ago. Chances are you have learned many things since then. You have gained experience, wisdom, and perspective. The mistakes you made helped shape the person you are today. Without those lessons, you might not have grown in the same way. Forgiveness does not mean pretending a mistake never happened. It means accepting what happened, learning from it, and choosing not to let it control the rest of your life.
When you forgive yourself, you free yourself from carrying unnecessary emotional weight. Another reason many people struggle with self-love is because they tie their worth to achievement. They believe they will finally be happy once they reach a certain goal. They tell themselves they will love themselves when they make more money, lose weight, get promoted, start a business, or find the perfect relationship. The problem is that self-love becomes something that always exists in the future. Every time they reach one goal, another goal appears. Instead of feeling satisfied, they continue chasing the next achievement, believing happiness is always one step away. There is nothing wrong with ambition. Goals are important. Growth is important. Improving your life is a positive thing. However, your value as a human being should never depend on what you accomplish. Success can improve your circumstances, but it should not determine your worth. One of the most powerful realizations in life is understanding that you are worthy of love and respect exactly as you are right now. Not because you are perfect, not because you have achieved everything you want, not because everyone approves of you. You are worthy because you are human. Learning to love yourself also means learning to enjoy your own company. Many people are uncomfortable being alone because silence forces them to face their thoughts and emotions. They fill every moment with distractions because they do not want to sit quietly with themselves. However, spending time alone can be incredibly valuable. It allows you to reconnect with who you are. It gives you an opportunity to reflect on your goals, values, and dreams. It helps you understand what truly matters to you, rather than what other people expect from you. When you become comfortable in your own company, you stop depending on other people to complete you. You begin enjoying your own presence. You realize that being alone is not the same as being lonely. Some of the most meaningful moments of growth happen when you spend time understanding yourself. The relationship you have with yourself influences every other relationship in your life. If you constantly doubt your worth, you may accept less than you deserve. If you do not respect yourself, you may struggle to demand respect from others. If you do not believe you are worthy of love, you may have difficulty recognizing healthy relationships when they appear. But when you value yourself, your standards begin to change. You become more selective about who you allow into your life. You stop chasing people who consistently make you feel unimportant. You stop accepting treatment that damages your peace and happiness. Instead, you begin surrounding yourself with people who support your growth and respect who you are. Self-love does not make life perfect, but it gives you a stronger foundation. Challenges will still exist, disappointments will still happen, difficult moments will still come. However, when your relationship with yourself is built on respect, compassion, and understanding, you become much more capable of facing those challenges without losing yourself along the way. As we continue this conversation, I want to talk about something that affects almost everyone at some point in life, and that is validation. Many people spend years searching for validation without even realizing it. They want reassurance that they are doing well, that they are attractive enough, successful enough, intelligent enough, or worthy enough.
Many of them faced rejection, criticism, and doubt, yet they continued moving forward because they believed in themselves, even when others did not. They understood something powerful. Confidence built from within is stronger than confidence built on praise. Learning to validate yourself does not mean ignoring feedback or pretending you have nothing to improve. It simply means recognizing that your value exists before anyone else comments on it. You can appreciate compliments without depending on them. You can learn from criticism without allowing it to define you. You can respect other people's opinions without allowing those opinions to control your identity. One practical way to develop internal validation is by asking yourself a simple question at the end of each day. Am I proud of the effort I made today? Notice that the question is about effort, not perfection. You cannot control every outcome in life, but you can control how you show up. You can control your attitude, your actions, and your willingness to keep moving forward. When you learn to recognize your own effort, your confidence becomes more stable because it no longer depends entirely on external results. Confidence and self-love are deeply connected. Many people believe confidence means never feeling nervous, uncertain, or afraid. In reality, confidence means trusting yourself even when fear is present. It means believing that you can handle challenges, learn from mistakes, and recover from setbacks. Confidence grows when you keep promises to yourself. It grows when you take action despite fear. It grows when you continue moving forward even after disappointment. Every challenge you face successfully becomes evidence that you are stronger than you once believed. This is why self-love is not just a feeling, it is a daily practice. Every time you speak kindly to yourself, you strengthen it. Every time you forgive yourself for a mistake, you strengthen it. Every time you choose growth instead of self-criticism, you strengthen it. Small actions repeated consistently create powerful changes over time. Another important habit is learning to recognize your progress. Many people become so focused on how far they still have to go that they forget how far they have already come. They achieve one goal and immediately focus on the next one. They rarely stop and appreciate the effort, discipline, and courage that brought them to their current position. Imagine climbing a mountain without ever looking back. You would never realize how much progress you had made. Life works the same way. When you fail to acknowledge your growth, the journey feels longer and more difficult than it really is. Gratitude can also play an important role in self-love.
Most people think gratitude means appreciating external things, such as opportunities, possessions, or relationships. While those things matter, gratitude can also be directed inward. You can appreciate your resilience. You can appreciate your determination. You can appreciate the fact that you kept going during difficult times, even when it would have been easier to quit. Recognizing your strengths does not make you arrogant. It makes you aware of your value. Before we finish today's episode, I want to ask you an important question. If nobody could judge you, criticize you, compare you, or tell you who you should be, how would you choose to live your life? What dreams would you pursue? What decisions would you make? What version of yourself would you allow to exist? Take a moment and think about that question honestly. Your answer may reveal how much of your life has been influenced by other people's expectations instead of your own values. As we wrap up today's conversation, I want you to remember something important. The relationship you have with yourself sets the tone for every other area of your life. It influences your confidence, your decisions, your relationships, your goals, and your ability to overcome challenges. When that relationship is built on self-respect, patience, and compassion, life becomes lighter, healthier, and more fulfilling. The truth is that you are already enough, not because you are perfect, not because you have achieved every goal, not because everyone likes you. You are enough because your value has never depended on those things. Your value comes from your humanity. It comes from the simple fact that you are worthy of dignity, respect, kindness, and love. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I truly appreciate every listener who joins me on these conversations. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe and follow the podcast so you never miss future episodes. And if you have a question, a challenge you're facing, or a topic you would like me to discuss in a future episode, feel free to send it in. I love hearing from listeners, and your question might inspire a future conversation. Until next time, take care of yourself, believe in yourself.
And remember that the most important relationship you will ever have is the one you have with yourself. The more love, respect, and understanding you bring to that relationship, the stronger and happier your life becomes. Thank you for listening, and I will see you in the next episode.